Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to Cigars Daily Live, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona with a gangbusters episode. Dare I say, an episode that is king of the hill, because tonight, as we dive in together, we're going to sink our teeth into the new King of Cigars. It has officially arrived. I know that you were all waiting for it, because at the end of the day, as aficionados, isn't that what we're all waiting for? Mm-hmm. We're waiting for a new cigar to come along and wow us, to sweep us off our feet like we were a damsel in distress being guarded by a fierce dragon of uninteresting cigar experiences, finally thrust into a battle for flavored something.
You were on a combo, man. It was great.
Landed the plane on that one. Listen, it's a great night. My name is Tim. I'm the host of this show, and all of you watching at home, you are the co-host. Your comments and your questions are going to drive this episode. And so whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or on Rumble or on the community on Cigars Daily Plus, drop your cigar comments and questions down below. We're going to get to them throughout the evening. I already told you my name. Y'all know who I am if you've been here before. But I got to tell you, this episode's a special one because tonight, for one thing, we're joined by the Cigars Daily Live studio audience. Woo! Thank you. And sitting behind the camera, I can't do this job alone. It takes the most skilled people in the industry. We searched far and wide and settled for Billy, the cock of the wall.
The search was, hey, do you like cigars?
Yeah.
Do you like perfect.
I just ran out front. I was like, you come in here real quick. I need to talk to you.
Do you know flavor notes? No, not really. Wonderful.
Yeah, he had me hold up a really big cigar on a video, and he's like, you're perfect.
You're perfect. I'll take him. All right. And sitting next to him is Rey Del Terrence. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, meow. How's everybody doing?
Happy
Monday. Happy Monday, everybody.
We're going to be interested to get in on Terrence's take tonight. Ooh, that sounds like a good segment for the show. Terrence's takes.
Yeah, I only have the wrong ones apparently to you guys. So why does that?
Yeah, I disagree with basically everything you say, and we're going to actually dive into that tonight. I have some bones to pick with you, if you will. Yeah.
What I break this time?
You didn't break anything,
okay,
except my spirit.
What?
Also joining us tonight and sitting third chair is Ryan. Holy crap, your camera's way off. The defender of the flat earth. Yes. What are you doing? I think you zoom out. I think you just have to grab the toggle and re-toggle it. Maybe the camera needs to move back. There you go.
Toggle.
All right, there we go. There we go. There
toggle in and out.
Good. Thank you, Terrence.
Thank you, Terrence.
Coincidentally, Terrence knows more about photography than anyone in this room, but I only know the cameras in this room, I think, which are set up to not be touched. So when they get touched, nobody knows what's going on.
I kind of just like fiddle fart with it until it starts making sense. And I was like, oh, I think that's what Tim did.
You're describing basically my career. I fiddle fart with things until I figure them out. Hey, listen, we're going to talk about some exciting stuff tonight. Everybody around the studio has the same cigar, okay? We are all mowing down on a cigar that boasts a large claim, and it is My Father's Cigars with the Don Pepin Garcia E.R.H. Now, if you follow Don Pepin Garcia, the legacy of his family, and so much that they've produced in a very short time in the cigar world, you will know that the Don Pepin series has like the Serie JJ and Vegas Cubanas and the original, which is a blue label one. And now a bunch of like limited edition 20th anniversary stuff that's all ridiculously priced. Many Five Guys meals worth of cigars.
Yep.
But this new one is the E.R.H, which stands for Don Pepin Garcia Rey Del Los Habanos, which in Spanish, El Rey means the king. The king. We know this on this show for one really simple reason, and that's that there is a cigar called El Rey del Mundo, which claims to be the king of the world. And so here, my father's like, scoop, 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 squeaking in on that space and trying to get everybody's attention with this E.R.H cigar. So we're going to get to the bottom of that tonight. Who really is the king of cigars, and who can hold that title? Who can be the king of that hill? We're going to talk a little bit about this blend as we all have it around the studio, but drop your cigar comments and questions down below because those are the things I really want to get to. Billy, I'm going to ask you first thing.
Yeah.
What do you know about El Rey Del Los Habanos? I'm asking Billy because
Are you
he's
pulling
the
up all the
person.
information as well?
Yeah, I want to get him on this. I'm like really trying to get him. So I just want the blending information in front of me.
That's what
Just
I'm
looking
for.
at this cigar, which
Sure.
I told you nothing about. Billy literally showed up 27 minutes ago and got handed a cigar he's never seen before. First of all, how familiar are you with Don Pepin Garcia?
Yeah. So as CEO, I have to be familiar with everything. Like
Naturally,
I can't be
naturally.
CEO of cigar content and not know everything.
Okay.
But as a good CEO does, I'm going to pass this off and I'm going to delegate my work onto Terrence to tell the fine people
Wow.
about
That
this wonderful cigar.
Was some master shuffling right there. I gotta say, next level. I really thought I was gonna
I don't know really anything.
just looking at it. Give me some
Yeah.
educated guesses based on the, I don't know, 100 episodes of this show or so that you have been on.
It's going to be a good cigar.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
going to be solid. It's going to be refined just because.
Good job. Stay as general as you can. Round.
Round.
Long.
It's long.
You drive.
All right. Well, I can respect all of that, Billy. Terrence,
Yes.
without
yes.
looking up the blend, can you
Shoot.
name it off the top of your head?
I don't know. I can't get any filler components yet, but if I were to say a general guess, Habano wrapper. It might just be because of the name, but I do get some kind of like woodiness that I typically get from a Habano. So that would be my guess. Nicaraguan binder and filler, hopefully. But that's my guess right now. How close am I?
Straight up wrong.
Okay,
but
fair.
only because it's misleading. This is a misleading thing, according to my understanding of the blending information. So really what we're getting down to is that no one in this room actually knows anything. But the wrapper leaf on this, surprisingly enough, Sumatra Rosado Oscuro, which is an interesting label for the wrapper leaf on the cigar since it's the King of Habanos. And it's not like Oscuro even a little bit. It really is quite a rosado, a reddish color, and very.
Band can be throwing us off though.
As a like El Rey Del Los Habanos, true to the nature of Habanos, straight up medium strength. And so we'll dive more into this, more into the bottom of it. Defender of the flat earth. At the outset of El Rey de los Habanos, what is your experience like?
So far, to me, it's pretty mellow. It's got a nice, smooth, like drawn finish. I'd probably put it a 5 out of 10 on the strength meter.
I ate
which
some
is
super
perfect.
spicy beef jerky before doing the show.
You did. I was standing right there. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember.
And this has like mellowed it all out. Super sweet, super
Yeah.
mellow. What Ryan was saying. It's like, I was kind of worried what we were going to smoke tonight, but pairs well with spicy.
There we go.
I love it. I love it. Let's dive in. I want to get comments from the wonderful, wonderful people living at home.
We're going to need to go, Tim. There's some rumor mills coming through.
Oh, if there's one thing I am, it's a gossip queen. So let's
That's true.
Let's dish the goss. Whiskey Gin says, Tim, this you and Oliva Nick have a love of spat. Has he hasn't been on in what seems like a year.
He was
you
here
and Nick
before
fighting?
Cigartopia, so wasn't that like November? Hasn't even been a full year yet.
Well, in all fairness to Whiskey Gin's comment, that's true. Oliva Nick has not been around. And I don't need to make excuses for Oliva Nick. First of all, I'll tell you, no, we have not have a lover spat. We hugged and kissed not 4 days ago. He came by he came by to ask me some questions about stuff that he's doing at work, which is a really cool part of my job because I get to rub shoulders with people like in the cigar industry, like decision makers. I get to talk about stuff that I really have no business even like sharing my opinion on. And so Smoochy from Bill Falconer, 100%. He came in and he's like, hey, I need to show you. He showed me a bunch of concept stuff coming up and for a particular cigar brand. And I took just a giant dump over all of it and said it was the worst idea. And that was all. But we love each other. No, I should have Oliva Nick back on. In fact, we're going to have a couple of episodes coming up over the next month where we will not have Billy the cock of the walk. And this is predominantly because he has to go to the reception for Jeff Bezos' wedding, and there was another
CEO stuff.
a Nicki Minaj thing, I think.
Yeah.
That's Well, he's a season port.
Are you gonna be giving your testimony at the Diddy trial as well? You guys are pretty up there.
I
together.
have to be there.
Okay, yeah.
Your testimony? You mean defending yourself on the stand? I always thought you were a slippery guy. Okie dokie. Cigar comments. What's going on down there?
We're going to stick with the rumor has it here.
Rumor has it. Okay. This one's from Insensitive Rex 3954 says, I once heard someone say that you should have lights inside your humidor and keep them on 24/7 because it preserves the cigars better. Is that true? And can you explain it in layman's thanks? I can explain it extremely well in layman's terms. That the absolute opposite of that is the truth. 100%. I don't know who said that. I don't know who I'm tangling with right now. I don't particularly care. Light is not the friend of your cigars. Literally, I mean, even LED lights, regular like light bulb lights are going to put out a little bit of, I don't even know if it's UV rays. Scott Woltz is like, not a little bit of this UV stuff. And what you'll find is that will bleach out the wrapper leaf on your cigar. It will eat away at the flavor of the cigar. It's not a good thing. My humidor at home is a tall tower cabinet king chi thing. Like a refrigerated humidor. My number one complaint about it is that I can't automate the lights in it. In my house, the lights for my important things that I want to look at are automated to come on and turn off when I'm there and when I'm not there. So as an example, I have a super nerdy collection of dinosaur fossils. Don't say it's Terrence. Thank you.
I moved the mic away.
And my dinosaur fossils has a light up in the case, has lights in it that are on a timer to turn on before I wake up in the morning and come out in my house. They turn off after I leave for work, and then they turn on again shortly before I come home because I don't want to waste electricity. I don't really care about, I don't think it's going to do anything to the bones. They're apparently very old. Anyway, Chris, Ryan, will you read that one for us?
I can't read it from here.
How old are you? I'm going to zoom in on that. There you go. Can you see that now?
Nerd.
Thank you very much. Did not disappoint. And Fenrir North says the fossils are awesome, and he's right. But on my humidor, I can't turn the lights on and off, and it drives me absolutely nuts.
Could you put your humidor on a timer so it only humidifies and turns on its lights right before you come home?
No, because if you don't have the motor running and the humidifier running and all the fans inside running, I'm actually worried that the humidity would get too high. So anyway, Instinctive Rex says, I'm going to have to talk to someone after this. Yeah, whoever said keep light on your cigars,
they don't like you.
Do the opposite of basically everything they tell you, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, that's literally the opposite advice I would give anybody. If you can keep your cigars in a place where the humidity is perfectly controlled at your preference, probably between 65 and around 72%, where the temperature is perfectly controlled, and I would say around room temperature, around 70 degrees. Lower than that's okay. A little higher than that's okay. And dark. Those would be the ideal spaces. And just check on them once in a while. They're like your hostages. They're like
potatoes. They like dark, humid areas.
What did you compare them to?
They're like potatoes.
They're like potatoes. That's a kind of a basic. What? What? Yeah,
Like it dark, huh?
That's not a very flattering.
I guess they are rude.
Yeah, I think
comparison, but
hostages
yeah.
was better because they like moisture too, or else they get the hose again.
Oh wow!
Moisturized skin
Wow,
anyway.
wow! Let's take some comments. All
Tim,
right, guys.
I have one for Terrence. I want you to go look at the last one I started and
Oh,
see if you want to
gosh.
pull that, and then I'll pull one for Terrence and he can read that.
Alrighty.
Terrence, you can read that.
Oh, from Matt Coyne, the guy that sold my Oldsmobile in 1980 was wearing Terrence's outfit. You know what, you jive turkey? No, what? It's just a brown suit. What's wrong with that? Is there?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it looks nice, Terrence.
Thank you. Thank you.
We absolutely take that comment.
Do you want that one?
Listen, there's no criticism that I'm not ready to have a conversation about here. Stocks and stogies. Are you guys ready for this? This one's brutal. Tim, rumor has it you're losing the throne of being the best damn cigar content online.
What?
Your fear of the future and lack of cigar content uploads have brought worry to cigar community, and we need you back. So I wonder, this is a perspective over perception. I wonder what the perception is of how much I'm uploading, because I now upload more than I have in years and years, but a lot of it is where the viewers are, which is short form content, which I upload the most regularly.
Mhm.
It's YouTube shorts and TikTokies and Instagrams and all this stuff. I'm doing tons and tons of those. I'm not doing as much long form content, and we still do just as many podcasts as we ever do. And so listen, I'm all in. I'm here for you guys. I'll keep making the content. What I always say is the truth. As long as you guys keep watching it, I will keep making it. There is the weird inconvenience of the fact that I actually run a company outside of this. And at some point I have to do that.
Real day job.
Yeah, the old day job. Oh my gosh.
The old 9 to 5 grind.
It's the company that everybody kind of, I don't know, if people could pick me doing the cigar content or running that other company is the thing they'd want more. I would hope they'd want the other thing more. Was that unclear?
No, it's pretty clear. At
All
least
right,
to
all right,
me. Yeah.
all right. Well, if he comes back in comments again, I'm all over it. I want to have that. I'm ready to dish the goss tonight. Sean D. Turner says, love the YouTube shorts. I laugh so much. A little pee always comes out. And that's what we want. Thank you, Sean Turner. I greatly appreciate it. I do focus on making shorts that are as fun as they are engaging. And somewhere in there, there's a cigar kind of buried, usually, because that's how YouTube likes it. They like me to bury that kind of stuff, like a hostage. Okay, what are we doing? I'm going to really go
At
off
that
the
point,
rails.
if you're burying them, they're not a hostage, they're a victim.
Does that not qualify anymore?
No.
All right, we got to go out to the desert later, Billy. What's happening in the comments?
We got a fight going on now.
Uh-oh.
People are fighting in the. Do you have to pull multiple comments to get this fight going?
No, we're going back and forth with short form.
I must be old. I can't stand shorts. Shorts?
Pants?
Can you do shorts? I like the longs from Josephus Comedy, which I fully understand, respect, and appreciate. FJ Biden says short form sucks. Which, listen, I'm not going to argue that short form content is going to destroy our civilization.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's where we're headed. I can't focus on anything for more than 60 seconds at a time.
You were like that before short film content, though. Tim.
That's true. That's why Allison and I don't have any more kids. I just lose focus and go do something else. All right. Is the wrench still watching right now?
Walk in another room. What was I
She
doing?
hasn't been in for a
Did
while.
you bump the AC down before you came in here?
I did not.
Will you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go bump it down. We got a lot of people in here. We want everyone to stay nice and cool. We're going to come back to that. Throw your spears, and we'll catch them. And we'll catch them in the comments. That was gonna.
I don't know. Spears go really fast. I don't think I could catch that well.
Not a fan of that, huh?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, I do want to talk about cigars tonight. So drop your cigar comments and questions down below. I want to take you into a segment we do every week on this show called the Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week. I got a few of them for you this week, and this first one's a follow-up. Want to give congratulations out there. We did a big contest called the Jacket Packet. We gave away jacket tattoos for the Aganorsa jacket that I am supposed to wear all the time, and to this day, Nobody can prove I haven't been wearing it all the time
I can.
to this point. And we had 2 winners, and I wanted to show off one of them to you tonight. Take a look right here. First one is from Chelsea S. Her jacket says Schwartz on the back and the number 69.
May the Schwartz be with you.
She says it's shorts weather, but so a bit hot to wear it. I mean, my ankles need to breathe, and so do my arms too. But you best all fall and winter will be spent fighting over who gets to wear the jacket. Poor hubby doesn't even get to see it till tomorrow when he finally gets home. A very big thank you to Tim and Terrence, and of course Aganorsa Leaf, and that's Terrence Riley.
Yeah, there was 1 R in that one, so
It's
definitely
Vanilla
that
Terrence.
Terrence.
Yeah. Okay.
Vanilla Terrence.
If he was here, that's how we would tell them apart. Literally. All right.
Do you want me to throw up the next pick?
Sure. Why not? Okay.
Bam.
The other big thing this week is Espinosa had a monumental week.
Mhm.
What all from Espinosa did we see come in just in the last week or so? There was the Espinosa Puro. There was the knuckle sandwich chef special from Espinosa.
Mhm.
A new land of the Murcielago Echo Hail, the daily edition Cigars Daily Nation special.
601 La Bamba.
The
Warhead,
601 La
Independence
Bamba
Day.
Independence Day. All of those things dropped in last week. It was a big week for Espinosa. Eric Espinosa and Guy Fieri are probably sitting on a beach somewhere right now. And he's like, not making any sense. And Guy Fieri's like, what? And then he takes a big bite out of a roast beef sandwich or something. But I wanted to just dissect here this collection of Espinosa that Tony P posted in the group. All he said was Espinosa with a fire emoji. And what I'm looking at in the picture for the podcast people is a bunch of knuckle sandwich 57s,
Mhm.
only 2 of the knuckle sandwich puro, the brand new puro, which is all Nicaraguan leaf. He's got some 601s in there. He's got some Larañas. This is all the bold stuff. I see a lot of Murcielago and not so many Murcielago Echo Hails, presuming that he's smoking more of those.
Exactly. He also has some chef specials. Sorry, Billy, you're gonna be up on camera.
And he's got a Shikaka.
He has a Shikaka, white bat. But he has
Which
a
one's
chef
the Shikaka?
that
On
is
the
gold.
bottom next to the right of the Echo Hails.
Got it.
There we go.
There
Yes,
is
sir.
one that's a golden one they did for somebody called the Shikaka. I'm 100% jealous of that name.
Actually, that is just the Oro TAA. So the Shikaka is
the
the
Shaka
last
was a
year.
Connecticut, right?
Yes, and that was last year's TAA.
That is a solid name.
But then he also has some chef special in there from 2024, and it looks like he has one 2023 left. And I can't tell what those perfectos are, but I think those might be even a 2022. Yep, the Oro Murcielago is fandamitable, if I can make up a word for it.
Famdamitable. And I'll say this, of everything in this collection, you can leave it up for one more second because I intend to pick a fight with Terrence immediately right now. Of everything in this collection, there's a lot of Murcielago, there's a lot of knuckle sandwich obviously being Guy Fieri's cigar, a celebrity cigar that's done unbelievably well. There's only 2 sticks, one Robusto and one Toro. They're up in the top row here of the new Puro. Now you can take that down, Terrence. Thank you.
I know where you're going with
And
this guy.
it's interesting because the knuckle sandwich has blossomed in a special way, going from being initially a celebrity cigar that causes everybody to kind of take a step back and be like, whoa, who is this foodie who is coming into our house? Now, a well-accepted sort of household name in the cigar world.
Yep.
Guy Fieri's done extremely well. And I have not been in agreement with Terrence on the Puro. So to me, there are 3 knuckle sandwiches. There's the Connecticut.
Yep.
There's a Habano.
Yep.
And there's an Oscuro.
Mm-hmm.
And the Oscuro is fire. And then they come out with the Puro. And the Puro is it's somewhere in between the Habano and the Oscuro. It's medium plus in terms of strength, earthy, similar to the way that you see a lot of really full strength blends come out with, I would say, a companion. It's the Liga Privada T52 to the number 9. It's the Cedrus from Southern Draw to the Jacob's Ladder. It's going back to Espinosa, the Laraña Escuro to the Laraña Azulejo. Now, that being said, Now we've got this one. And Terrence, what did you say about the Puro? Dawn the people with what you said. And just so you know, Guy Fieri is going to see this.
So I cannot say what I said in person, but I wasn't blown away
really
like I was with the
prejudiced.
Maduro.
What he said was, what did you say? Go ahead.
I just said I wasn't blown away like I was with the Maduro or the Habano. For me
Okay.
personally, on my lips, it left a really tart bitterness that I smoked like 5 or 6 of them to try to see if I could work past it or anything like that. But it just didn't suit me as much as the Chef Special 2025, where I've had a couple of those, and every time it's blown me away. So it's just one of those things where I might need to just give it a little bit more humidor
Okay.
time personally.
That's
but yeah.
fair. I that's fair. But I tried it and I was really taken aback. I've gone through more than a half a box of the knuckle sandwich Puro. I'm going to switch to Anglo-Saxon now. And the next pick of the week, I think, outlines what I wanted to say better than I could say it. Take a look here. This one's from Kelly W. He's got the Puro, the knuckle sandwich. I'm enjoying the new Espinosa knuckle sandwich Puro in the pool tonight. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but my God, what a beautiful cigar, especially when you consider the colors and design on the bands.
I can agree with that. I also like
you
the
agree that
boxes
it
of too.
looks good.
Oh, it's a great looking cigar. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give it that to you. I think that so here's my issue. In this world of like full strength cigars, and then their companion cigars, I really do turn toward a lot of these companion. I like the Cedrus more than I like a Jacob's Ladder. I like the Laranja Azulejo more than I like the Laranja Escudo personally. And so for me, I'm not sure that I think that the knuckle sandwich Puro I like it more than the Oscuro, but it's very good. Like, to me, it was an easy go-to, and I've been huffing through them like crazy. So I want to know more from you guys. Knuckle sandwich, is it a brand you even think of? Do you even consider it when you're making your selections? Drop a comment down below. Let us know. Have you had the Puro? Is that cigar something that to you it makes sense, is even worth it? Billy, how many Puros have you had, CEO?
I've had so many.
Like, can you give me a number? Like,
so yeah,
like between
try to
like,
round
Yeah,
to
like round up, just
yeah.
just a butt. I mean, when you think about just the
I'm
amount
thinking
of
about it.
cigars that I've had and I've enjoyed over the years,
Oh yeah,
they just come in
it's
and they go.
they come and they go, and
Yeah.
so keeping count is tough to do.
Super tough.
But if it's just one cigar we're talking about here,
I don't know how many I've like.
I'm gonna make sure you get one.
I'm trying to think. I know I've had them. I just can't think of one.
Billy comes here and I like 20 minutes before the show and I put a cigar in his hand and I'm like, here's what we're talking. And sometimes he knows a little bit more about it than that. Ryan, you've had the Puro. What is your synopsis of it? Can you settle this between Terrence and I? Is it a love it or hate it cigar? There are those blends out there that are just like, some people love them and some people hate them no matter what you're going to do.
So for me, you got the existing 3, so it's where do you put it in that 3, right? I still like the Maduro better, but I think I'd put it above the Habano and the Connecticut.
So to you, it's in second place.
Yes.
Terrence, what place do you give it?
Ooh, Guy Fieri's gonna see this, but it's going to the before. Like, so Maduro
Last place for you.
The Maduro is my baby. Like, I've had so many of the Maduro. The Habano is definitely one of those cigars where, like, every 5 to 10 puffs, it almost drastically changes, where something major is taken out and something different's added in, where it's a very dynamic smoking experience. And I find that really interesting. And the balance on it is fantastic. The Connecticut is a wonderful, wonderful morning cigar. And I'm not usually big on Connecticut's in the morning, but that one right there definitely stands up. And I definitely enjoy it. It's up there with like Johnny Tobacconade, Morning Glory, Rosa Sharon for me when it comes to like the stature that Connecticut has. And don't get me wrong, the flavors on the Puro are fantastic, but my personal experience has not had the best light on it, where you get like a nice sweet woodiness and nuttiness, a little bit of earthiness from all the Nicaraguan tobacco in there, but just the if I take a puff and then lick my lips afterwards and it's just like abhorrently bitter, it just wasn't for me. And that might just be like a pistachio or a walnut kind of thing that I'm just not familiar with, or an espresso thing, but personally it just wasn't there for me just quite yet. And
Okay,
who knows, I might have to just go through a half a box like you have.
okay, we'll see if we can bring you around. That's all I want to do. I just want to bring you into the fold. Keep dropping your cigar comments and questions down below. We're going to take a bunch of them. I want to take one really quick from John Weiss that says, Tim is being a bully.
This isn't new.
Do you guys think am I being a bully? I was asking the CEO
I have
a relevant question to his.
Yeah, you're a bully.
That throw comes at you
You're-
every time I see it. Oh, man.
I love that you get so much enjoyment out of it, Tim. Yes.
I do, man. I just think it's great. I've never bought anything so quickly off the TikTok shop. All
You
right.
didn't even know who you were going to give it to. That could have been either Billy or me.
I didn't know who I was going to give it to. No. But
I'm not the throat coat. I don't
Yes,
know.
you are.
I don't
Yes,
even
you
know
are.
how many puros I've had.
no, but
Yes,
but
you are.
legitimately, Billy, is not that exactly the kind of thing I would buy and give to you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Let's go. It's hopefully the kind of good-natured ball busting that goes on in a cigar lounge.
yeah.
That's why we're all here together.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to keep taking you guys aside. Drop your cigar comments and questions down below. I want to take one more. We've got some headlines. There's important things going on in the world, things that are going to shock you and things that are going to relieve the shock. We're going to build the tension. We're going to release the tension, build it back up. This is what television's all about, even though most of you are probably watching this on a phone. Doesn't matter anymore. Billy, take a comment. Chris Krim says, Mr. Tim, can you explain the term full-bodied and what it refers to? So when it comes to body and strength, if you ask a 10 cigar, internet influencer guys, because now there are a lot, apparently my in at least some people's view, my standing as the best damn cigar content online is in question. I'm dropping out of the top tier. Just so you guys are clear, there was a period of time where I was like almost the only one doing this. Now there's hundreds of people, which I consider to be a great thing because it's a rich conversation in the cigar community online.
Yes.
That being said, I forgot what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Can you explain what full body means?
Thank you. I
to
appreciate it. For Chris Krim. Now I'm back. When it comes to strength and body, there are some people who talk about these terms interchangeably. They'll use strength and body in the same term. Oh, it's a full-bodied cigar. It's a full-strength cigar. I do not take that to be the way. That's not what I mean when I say the term body in terms of a cigar's flavor. When I'm talking about body, I'm talking about how well does that flavor lay across the palate? Does it fill out the entire palate? And I mean across the tongue. That means that your beginning flavor notes hit on the tip of the tongue. This is where I typically find sweetness comes across most clearly. So when I'm finding sweetness, it's very much on the tip of the tongue, sometimes across the middle of the tongue. Spiciness, power and strength, grit and ruggedness. Sometimes some of that earthy flavor can hit in the back of the throat. Through the retrohale, there is a lot of color that comes through in a flavor. I'll get other flavor notes there, most often floral notes, the more delicate notes, like sometimes vanilla is a very delicate note, or graham cracker comes through on the retrohale. And also different types of peppers. There's a generic pepper, sometimes very light white pepper, or a hearty black pepper on the retrohale. Full-bodied just describes a type of flavor where that flavor fills out the palate really quite entirely. And there are good cigars that are more mild to medium bodied. If they have a solid flavor that doesn't quite fill everything out completely, maybe it lacks that grit or earth or spice that hits the back of the throat, but has a really nice bright sweetness on the tip of the tongue and a simpler flavor profile, it can still be quite good. And so there can be cigars that are full-bodied yet milder in strength, and you can have cigars that are more medium-bodied but fuller in strength. And so that's how I divvy these up. It's like, and I talk about this in my cigar reviews a lot, it's like we're painting a painting. Have any of you gone to museums? Are there any cultured people here? Have you ever walked into a museum?
Sure.
Did you think, well, I mean, other than to look at the naked pictures in there?
No.
No, I can't say that I have. I was talking to a buddy the other day, and he was like, he had just gone to France, and he was like, "Hey, we went into this museum. There's a picture of a lady with no pants on," and he was trying to explain this painting that I guess was in the Louvre or something like that.
I was about to say, was he in the Louvre? Because
that was the only
downtown Phoenix.
That was the only. Yeah, you can just go anywhere in Phoenix. You can find the same painting.
Oh my gosh.
But this guy, of all the art in this museum in Paris, this was the one. This girl had no pants on. And anyway, when you paint a painting, the idea is to cover the canvas with paint. Like you typically, unless you're some sort of weird, modern art nut job, and you
Jackson Pollock's.
yeah. No, not even Jackson Pollock. His looked like, I can't say what they looked like. It looks like someone
Wow.
just sprayed stuff all over a canvas. Jackson Pollock paintings cover the whole canvas. Today, the idea of his art is like duct tape a banana to the wall and charge somebody, $40 million for it. I think it was $4 million. Somebody paid for that banana. That's, to me, is not what a good painting does. It covers the entire canvas. And so a full-bodied cigar does a good job of that. John Weiss says it's actually called Girl with No Pants.
He's like, I looked that up.
It's not called Girl
Drew
with No
Estate's
Pants.
about to go make a new cigar.
The new Deadwood Girl with No Pants.
It's unbranded.
You're really running out of ideas over here.
Or it's just a top band really close to the cap, but nothing at the center or the bottom of it.
It's a shaggy foot.
I'm
I'm not gonna keep making jokes. I have more. I
So
have
it's a
more.
cigar from the 70s.
I have more in the barrel right now, just to be clear. I'm not going to do that. I love you, Jonathan Drew. We'll just stop right there. I've met Drew Estate's lawyers. They're wonderful people. Let's keep cruising. Are there any comments to go to, Billy? Otherwise, I got a segment queued up.
No, we have to stop. I mean, I can't pull the recent comments.
At this point, I'm just going to say this. That Dirty Bird Bill says, "There's Tim the bully. There he is." I literally plan segments now, being like, all right, when the show goes completely off the rails, we got to have something to go to. Let's talk about the headlines, Cigars Daily headlines. Here's what's happening in cigars today that has nothing to do with pants. Listen, like I said, I'm going to build some tension. We're going to release the tension. We're going to build it back up again. During this episode, we are talking about My Father's Cigars, new Don Pepin Garcia E.R.H. stands for El Rey Del Los Habanos. We're going to come back to that cigar in a minute and talk about it. Of course, you can learn more about the cigar when you check it out on the community on Cigars Daily Plus and on Rumble, where we're going to be going for the after party in just a little bit. That's this show continued without all the hullabaloo of big tech, and so, which surprisingly doesn't seem to hold us back from much, but yeah, you'd be shocked.
Mhm.
Corey B says, and canceled. So some of you guys live in states where being a cigar lover is easy. Some of you guys live in states where being a cigar lover sucks. Even in some cities now, there's parts of the city that are getting a little more difficult to be an aficionado. Like whole communities popping up where there's no smoking on campus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apartment complexes, condos, and things like this. I've read a lot about it. I've engaged with a lot of people about this online, about things going on in their apartment complexes. Even one gal in the Cigars Daily Nation bought a condo and said the HOA tried to say no smoking in her own backyard at a place that she owned, which is just, both these guys like, gross. So it's getting hard out there. And one of the things that I think everybody is being super conscious about these days is affordability. Some states are more affordable than others. In America today, there are two states that are known as the worst states, particularly for finance and cigar economy. Those states are New York and California. And coming from Half Wheel, this is the new article. California's cigar tax goes up tomorrow. I'm going to go to Half Wheel right now so that I can tell you guys about the rate. I want to get the numbers specifically right on this. So California, July 1st, California makes an adjustment on its tax rate on cigars and other tobacco products, those that are not cigarettes. Not every day that you see cigarettes don't get the tax hike, but everything else does. Tomorrow, the rate will go from, get this, 52.92% of wholesale to 54.27% of wholesale. This is effectively like a 20 to 30% on the end price of the cigar. So this is super like loose numbers, but a cigar that's $10 in a state where there's no taxes would suddenly be $13 to $15 in a state like California. And and then you got to put in sales tax and all the other stuff that comes with it. That being said, people who live in California will tell you the state is absolutely ridiculous to be in. All of this comes alongside some other absolutely industry crushing regulations the state of California has put out, including a basically like a pre-market approval type ruling that they have for cigar makers, where cigar makers have to register their cigars in California, and infused flavored stuff is basically not allowed to be registered in that state. They're trying to weed out all the flavors. And so this has led to some pretty serious consequences for retailers in California. The most notably of which I want to talk about is the Oak Glen Cigar Society. My very good friend, yep, there he is, John Guerra's talking about it. OGT, my friend Eric Drazen of Oak Glen Cigar Society called me. It was near the beginning of this year. He said, Tim, I think I'm going to have to leave California if these laws and regulations go through. And just recently literally moved his entire operation from California clear across the country to, I believe, North Carolina.
Yes.
And I've been following his journey a little bit and texting him and encouraging him and praying for the guy. And I'm excited for him because, like, if you do, business, if you're focused on success, then you'll learn to look at every disadvantage as the seed to new advantage. And I'm praying that for Eric and for his wife and everybody in the Oak Glen Tobacco and Cigar Society, that's exactly what it becomes, that this propels them to new heights. But for people who are in California still, you guys are getting sucker punched in the gut. They're hitting you right in the warm fuzzies. And we don't appreciate it very much. So letting you guys know that's going on. Any comments about that, Billy?
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm in California and I find an online retailer of cigars, do I have to pay the taxes in California if I buy them from another state?
That's a fuzzy, that we can talk about that on the after party.
Okay.
There
Technically, yes, but not always. All right, I'm just going to lay it out here. Here's the deal. Listen, all of you who are watching,
full send it. Just going to full send it like
I'm going to full send it right now because this is the kind of stuff that you guys really want to know about. And I really want to tell you about, so let's do it right here. Do you got to pay taxes when you buy anything online? Like, for instance, let's talk about a product that's not regulated.
Amazon.
Thank you. Anything on Amazon. You know what? Air fryers, the #1 best way to cook a steak that there is. Okay, so you want to go buy an air fryer.
Right.
And for the sake of argument, we're just going to say that air fryers, a box of air fryers, has got a box of 20 E.R.H. air fryers, has got a air fryer tax on it, 54%. If you go buy that online, are you going to pay taxes? For a long time, the answer was no. Buying anything online meant no taxes. So when you'd go buy something off Amazon, back when Amazon sold books, or you'd go buy electronics from Fry's. I'm starting to date myself here a little bit, but
Fry's
Fry's Electronics. What a dinosaur! You belong in your cabinet, Tim.
I thought I was avoiding Circuit City, so I thought I was doing pretty good there. You went and bought that stuff online, and there wasn't taxes, and it presented a big problem for states, especially as more and more purchasing was done online. There was actually this is super nerdy, guys. Are you ready for this? There was a Supreme Court precedent that was set that said that states could not collect sales tax on a purchase that occurred outside of their state. This initial precedent was set in the early 1900s during the time of the Sears catalog. People would look at a paper catalog. They would find one of those things where you crank your clothes through to dry them. I don't know what the hell they used back then. They would pick up the phone. They would dial on the rotary phone, and they would call, and they would say, "Hello there, I'll take the new clothes dryer 7000." And then they would put a check in the mail, lick the envelope, put a stamp on it, and send it away. Then 12 to 16 weeks later, your device gets there and you've bought it. Now, the Supreme Court said states can't charge tax on that transaction because where does that transaction take place? It doesn't take place in the customer's state if they mailed the check to another state. It doesn't even necessarily take place where Sears is if it's getting sent to a department like a credit processing department in another state. So they said, we can't really figure out where this transaction is taking place. So most of the states, and this is going to shock everybody, let's see. I bet Tim uses a Sears catalog. Old, You're not wrong. Billy, keep taking those comments. Just throw them up. I want
The
everyone to see
lingerie
comments.
section.
So the idea is that these transactions cannot be, you can't figure out where they're happening. The internet increased the confusion of that, because if you buy something online, where does that transaction take place? It doesn't take place inside your home, even though you're doing it on your phone. It doesn't take place in the headquarters of that place. It takes place on a server somewhere. Somewhere. Maybe it's in Ohio, maybe it's in Colorado, whatever. There's a server farm.
India.
What's that?
It could be in India.
It probably isn't, but could very well just as easily be in India. So for a long time, they said no tax on anything online. Then South Dakota, I believe was a state, sued Wayfarer for sending them a bunch of dressers, probably had children in them, from what I remember.
My goodness,
And
Tim.
and they said, we want to be able to collect sales tax on these items. And the Supreme Court overturned the ruling. Now, up until that time, most states had a law that said if you buy something out of state, you're supposed to report it on your taxes and pay sales tax. So like if you bought $20,000 worth of stuff on Amazon, you're supposed to report that on your taxes and pay. Did anybody in the audience know that? Do you guys even know you were supposed to be doing that? Yeah, like that's a law. Yeah, the cop knows it. There's a cop. Yeah, he's like, I didn't do that. So the Supreme Court overturned it, and just like that, like 30 different, well, it's not in Iran. Wow. Thank you, Shunk. So they overturned this, and just as quickly and very suddenly, all these states started passing laws saying they're going to collect tax from e-commerce companies selling into their state. So the impetus is on the e-commerce brand to report sales to each of these states that have this law and pay taxes individually to those states. So let's say you own a business called Candles Daily, and you sell boxes of candles that people love, like the new Don Pepin Wick, E.R.H. box of candles. So if you sell those boxes to these 35 states, you're supposed to tell them how many you sold and then pay the taxes and charge those taxes to people. This is actually the reason that when you buy things on Amazon, you now get charged sales tax. Mike Tackett says the IRS has entered the chat. Now, here's the complicated part of that. Some states have done it and not all of them. There are in many states a limit, an underscored limit that you have to sell into that state before you are required to charge, assess, and pay those taxes to the individual states.
Oh.
And the enforcement of this is still a debacle that I don't even want to begin to try to imagine. Imagine being like the head of the Department of Revenue for Ohio. And you've got how many companies are online selling, like shipping stuff into your state. And so it's a very, very muddy situation right now, but you're going to see this increasingly over time. Eventually, you will see it. The one thing that is still a complete outlier is special luxury taxes assessed on regulated goods.
Mm-hmm.
Most states are requesting or trying to require sales tax to be paid on items, but not necessarily, as far as I know, requiring the taxes. Like you see, California's now 54% of wholesale tobacco tax. How do you assess that? How do you pay that? There you go. Super long explanation.
Bro, you lost me.
I only got through one. We didn't lose the audience, and that's what I was going for. Billy, you're good, dude. You go to your yacht. You go to Jeff Bezos after wedding party and have a great time.
It's going to be
You know
a good
what?
time.
After we built up all that tension, I think it's time for us to do the next headline.
That being said, there are great things going on in the world as well. AJ Fernandez is shipping the New World Decennial. So AJ Fernandez has been at this New World business for 10 years, and they are celebrating with a very special 10th anniversary New World that I just can't wait to sink my teeth into.
Okay.
So excited for this. They shipped those at the end of last week, I believe. So you should start to see them pop up in the wild.
Do you know any blending information on the Decennial? Is it going to be a Sumatra kind of like the original was?
I'm going to look it up. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm not even going to
That's
try
fair.
to pretend.
Yeah, no, please do.
Decennial. Okay. There's let's see. I'm going to go to one of my competitors here.
Oh,
These guys don't even have pictures yet. I hate that.
You're like coming soon.
Coming soon.
To
Yeah.
start.
Image coming
Shop near
soon.
you.
The quick view doesn't even bring up any information. There we go.
That's a scam site.
No, they're a very big competitor.
Half Wheel said scheduled for May.
Mexican rapper.
Ah.
That was a good joke in there. Nicaraguan binder.
This guy.
And a combination of Nicaraguan and Honduran fillers will be offered in 3 sizes, a Robusto, a Toro, and a 6x58 Gordo. Which, by the way, I got to say, I'm super pleased to see cigar brands simplifying their offerings. When they release stuff, they used to release it in 7 sizes. There would be like a Corona, a Robusto, a Toro, a Torpedo, a Churchill, a Gordo, and like some size that no one could account
Lancero.
for. A Lancero or a Figurado.
Ooh,
or
a
some
Decennial
damn thing.
Lancero sounds
No,
amazing,
no.
right?
Just what 1 to 3 sizes is fine. We're gonna be
Could
fine.
you say they're doing short form releases?
It's like the YouTube shorts of that kind of thing. Yes.
Could you imagine like Robusto, Corona, and Lancero as the like launching sizes? I think that's fantastic.
I think that you're a bad person.
I ain't never claimed to be a good one.
He sells old mobiles. I'm just saying.
That's
Hey,
true, yeah.
you know what happened to Oldsmobile? Went the way of the dinosaurs, just like your cabinet, Tim.
No, thank you very much. Cigar Yam says, I live in Cali and I only get stogies online. It's hard to support local brick and mortars with these prices. A 5x50 Oliva V is about 35 guys, 3 5 guys burgers. And this is the other thing I've seen in California because of this is something to be aware of. When the taxes get hiked to the point where they're redonkulous, the consistency of pricing among brick and mortars goes out the window. Like in California, I've heard this. I haven't been to California. I don't go there often, as my lovely wife, the French.
Whoa. Whoa.
Speaking of which,
The wrench. She said, please bring me home 3 packs of Toscanos. Got it.
What flavors, Allison? I got you.
Somebody remind me after the show. She refuses to go to California for any reason. So I don't go there a lot. But from what I've heard in California, you can have 2 shops that are like 10 or 15 minutes apart, and the price of one cigar will vary as much as like $5.
Mhm.
Because once you get the prices like that jacked up, there are shops all over the place. Like here in Phoenix, where brick and mortars are predominantly everywhere. I mean, we have 70 brick and mortar cigar shops in Phoenix. It's probably more than that now because we've been opening more than we've been closing over the last couple of years. It's pretty consistent. And there are shops out there that'll jack the price up, but it's like $1, sometimes $2. And so there's the market's very competitive, but those higher prices weed out a lot of the competition. And when there are fewer shops, then the shops that are left end up playing these price games where you'll go in and that $10 cigar that because of the taxes ends up being 13 or 14 bucks is sitting on their shelf for $16.50. And so this is a common problem and we don't like it. We don't like it at all. We don't think it's right. We don't support it. Mike Tackett says, at what point does the government intervene with the gouging? They're not gonna. They love it. They love the gouging. I mean, if you call your commerce department in your state and you're like, my cigar shop's overcharging for cigars, they're gonna hang up on you.
They're gonna laugh
Right.
at you.
They're gonna laugh. What they're gonna say is you don't need cigars. Call them and tell them the electric company's charging you too much for power. They'll also laugh and hang up on you. They don't care.
They're
Okay.
like, you have the most half-world problems there is. That's a luxury above
Right.
like a necessity, and they're just gonna laugh at you and hang up. Like that's not even a first world problem at that point.
Well, and here's the other thing. I'm going to take Dan Elting's comment here. The other thing is this. Price gouging, like when the government steps in, is like when your state gets hit by a natural disaster and the houses, I don't know,
Ooh,
all
yeah.
burned to the ground. And then the hotels are like, oh, our rooms are $10,000 a night. That's kind of when they step in. Like when they're like charging $16 for a $10 cigar, like nobody's looking out for you except for me. Okay.
This
you like that? You like
guy.
that? I slipped that one in there.
are you like
We still care
what is
about
that?
you
The
people.
3 News channel that sends out people to like check in on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like
3 on your side kind of
3
thing.
on your side.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, I was just saying I'm looking out for him in other ways.
Oh.
The gouging thing.
Well, we
All right.
can't talk about that.
Back to your cigar comments and questions. I got two more headlines to get to, and then we're gonna go to the after party in a few minutes. Dan Elting says, so it's okay to smoke and cheat on your favorite brick and mortar?
That's
No.
essentially what Dan sounds like.
Smoke around it. Listen, I posted a picture in the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group this week, and I have confessed that I've been cheating.
Oh no.
I've been cheating on the Cigars Daily HQ.
Yeah, you have.
I visited a liqueur shop and famous pizzeria called Trevor's.
Bro, they're the best.
They're absolutely fantastic. They do happen to have a lounge and a really nice humidor. And the guy there, Lemon, great guy.
Love
Chat
him.
with him.
Yeah.
Take the wrench over there. Even went to a Churchill's this weekend to a
Whoa.
to a Monte Cristo bar. So I've been smoking around, and I just want to come clean with all of you right now.
Well, since we're admitting things right now,
Terrence, we know.
the thing is,
Come clean. Get it off your chest.
I don't use our lounge very often anymore.
What
Like
lounge?
back in the day, I was here once a week, twice a week, maybe when I don't have a job every day. But now that I'm here, I don't use our lounge very often. And so I guess I could call somewhere else my home lounge now. Maybe home. I don't know.
You have an office lounge,
I-
but also
Yeah,
everybody
I do.
should know that Terrence is not shy about frequenting the competitors.
Well, they'll do something. They're not competitors if they got something we don't got. You know what I mean? It's a gray area like taxes. You know what I mean, guys? Right.
It's
Right.
so. First of all, just to be clear, taxes are not a super gray area.
Yes, they are.
I'm
Taxes
pretty sure
are optional.
Singer says cheaters. They're cheating. He's sitting, I was like, I trusted you. Oh my god. Do they have CBD? Oh, high as
Sorry.
yeah. Okay. Do they have CBD infused cigars? I hope there's not any more CBD infused cigars. They tried to do this for a little while. One cigar brand even approached me. They were trying to make a CBD infused cigar. I think they were using tea wax for it. And
This was at TPE 2023.
yeah, the VP of the company came up to me at a trade show and he's like, Tim, I got all these cigars we tried to infuse with CBD, but no matter what I do, they just taste like you're licking a pine tree. And then he's like, will you buy them from me? I was like, no. You want me to spend money on something you just convinced me can't be good? No. There are some things that don't mix. And over time, I think that our flavor preferences can change. Just like my preference on pairing cigars with energy drinks,
Oh god.
which I used to look down on. I
used to
judge
bully people.
I used to bully people for doing this.
Mhm.
Now I do it every single Monday night on the show. And I have to say this, by the way. I
Tim, are you
started
itchy right now? Okay, quick question. Are you?
no,
No,
but I
he's
do like the
lost that.
itchiness I get.
But
from
you
this.
can go to sleep. Like, what time will you go to sleep tonight?
As soon as I get home, like 8:30, 8:45.
Likewise, yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm about a pot of coffee in, so I might have to start trying to fight the itchiness.
I do want to say this. I want to make an acknowledgement real quick, and then we have one more headline before we head over to the after party. I was talking about these C4 drinks on the show that I enjoy so much, and people started members of the Cigars Daily Live studio audience. Sorry, started bringing me these C4 drinks. I now have a fridge full of them, and I'm so grateful for it that I thought, what could I do? What else could I just pop up there? So I started showing off this picture of this super sexy Ferrari.
Lamborghini, actually.
Whatever. Yeah, I started showing off a car that I knew I would never be able to afford. And lo and
Something nobody
behold,
in this room will ever drive.
it wasn't 1 week later that Dirty Bird Bill came in and brought me.
It was
my
literally the
very
next day,
own-
yeah.
It was the next day. This is my very own Lamborghini Reventon.
Reventon.
The accent's over the O.
Reventon.
Reventon. So there you go. I got to pick more stuff. Thank you, Dirty Bird Bill. I got to pick more stuff to put up in on the show and ask for. I think we got to really dream wild on this one.
So
Basically,
basically,
he
you say
likes anything off the
Ferrari and
pickup truck.
Lamborghini are the same thing, or the same difference?
No, they're both in the category of cars that I will never own.
Okay, fair.
They're
fair,
both
fair,
in the
fair.
upper
They're
echelon
both
of
Italian
vehicles.
supercars.
Hyper.
Hyper.
There we
I mean,
go.
have
if you think about
ADHD.
it, both you guys have muscle cars, but they're like super fast. So you can say those are supercars at this point. Not
Yes.
everybody can get those. So like
No.
I get it. So like those are like Halo or like upper echelon type tier. Sorry, nothing. car
Terrence,
talk.
you'll get that Hellcat.
All right.
Where's my beeper?
Okay. Excellent work, Billy. Hey, before we go to the after party, I do want to tell you this show's going to continue. And believe it or not, it can go further off the rails than it already has. And so what I want to do is cover our ground really quick. First of all, go to the after party and join us for more of this episode. It's not like a paywall thing. You don't have to subscribe to anything. The after party is free, but it does allow us to do this show in a place where we're not censored by the big tech gurus. So we're going to end it on YouTube. We're going to end it on Facebook and continue the show on Rumble and on our own community on Cigars Daily Plus. Cigars Daily Plus is our own platform. You can sign up. It's free and easy. It requires your name, a username, an email, and a password. And that's it. You're in. And so join us there. Will says chirp. Who's the bully now? Tim's Heaven Kitty. Billy, will you go get me my emblem for the?
Oh,
the,
yes, please.
I'm going to show you guys just really quick before I go. You guys know, if you guys know, and we're going to head to the after party in just a minute after one more headline. I do have a Dodge Challenger, a 2010 Dodge Challenger with a salvage title.
11.
I love that car. Drives amazing, but I supercharged it recently. Spent more on the supercharger than I did on the car. And so I had new emblems made for the vehicle. It's not a Hellcat, but it is a Heck Cat. And I got these for the quarter panel. It says 5.7 liter supercharged. And I'm going to be installing these this week after I get my truck fixed because I backed into a tree over the weekend. So I was going to go to the body shop to have these put on. Now tomorrow I take my truck to the body shop. There it is. All right.
Did you hit it and go, oopsie, like when you accidentally curb with your wife or something like that?
Yeah, it was up to. All right. Last thing you got to know about this is a big release every year, has people super excited. I got a phone call this morning, and it was from my representative associated with Aganorsa Leaf, because every year Aganorsa Leaf puts out this insanely high demand limited edition cigar called the Supreme Leaf. And then the headline here is Supreme Leaf Grand Toro, which is, by the way, the best size of the Supreme Leaf, shipping next week. That week was this week. Now, when I placed a personal order for these, I shot for the moon. It's an allocated cigar, meaning that the cigar brand chooses what shops get. And you're limited to a certain number. So they might say you can get up to 10 boxes. How many do you want? You can get up to 15 boxes. How many do you want? I shot for the moon with this one and got everything I asked for. Santa loved me. I was on the good boy list this year. And so all that's on the way. A little bit of a facelift to the packaging for the Supreme Leaf. Very much looking forward to that. And at this point, I'm going to take it over to the after party. You can keep dropping your comments and questions on Rumble and on Cigars Daily Plus. Do join us for the after party where we're going to continue talking about Don Pepin Garcia, Rey Del Los Habanos, the E.R.H, this Rosado wrapper that's come out. I don't even want to call it a Rosado Oscuro. I want to call it a Rosado.
You can just call it Sumatra.
I just want to call it a Sumatra, even though it's Rey Del Los Habanos. Doesn't matter. We'll pick on the cigar more. Let's head over to the after party. Thank you guys for joining us. Stay tuned for another great episode next Monday. Otherwise, we'll see you on the after party.
And live your life.